So hello, good morning, good afternoon. It is 11:30 for me, so it's still technically a little bit of morning. Uh, I am in mountain time in Artemisia. My name is Praxilla Taurina. I have a 16th century Venetian courtesan persona. Um, and we're going to talk about super fun activities that were big in Venice. And those involve throwing eggs at one another. It was super big during Carnival, as so many interesting and exciting things are super big during Carnival. Um, I'm going to do a bit of screen sharing. We'll look at a few images and a recipe, and then we're just going to go for it. And I will show you how to make some rosewater filled eggs for flirting with your friends with a slingshot. Alrighty, so in Venice, these were called Ovi Odoriferi, literally egg that smells, and it smells nice. Well, most of them did smell nice. Some of them did not. In addition to the beautiful perfumed eggs with rose water or lilac, or lavender or jasmine, primarily rose water. We do have examples where they did say that there was the occasional rotten egg that got thrown. Also things filled with like ink instead of the lovely rose water you were expecting. The first example, the first written reference to masks in Venice comes from 1268 and actually mentions the egg game. People throwing eggs at their friends, or a lovely lady you're trying to acquire the notice of. And at that 1268, these were so problematic that they were banned, that you were not allowed to wear masks to go throw eggs at your friends, just to explain that it was happening often enough that it had become a problem. The Great Council of Venice prohibited throwing scented eggs filled with rosewater towards strolling ladies. The Matticino masks, which are some of these lovely ones here, were it's exciting to see in this woodcut where these gentlemen out throwing eggs kind of look like Easter bunnies with their eared masks and their baskets of eggs. They also had slingshots. But they are the first law regulating the use of masks. They were worn by young nobles who were dressed as clowns. It got to be so that the egg game was so popular that the local fathers decided the best thing to do would be to install nets, so to protect women and their clothing from being egged. These are still available at well, with the new versions of Carnival in Venice, you can purchase perfumed eggs as well. They are mentioned into the 19th century in various New World areas where they talk about the perfumed eggs. And there's an interesting synergy of motion to the cascarons, the eggshells that are in Mexico and Spain, where they're filled with glitter and confetti and thrown at one another. So you can still find these. In fact, most Easter seasons, you can go into Walgreens or a local drugstore these days and pick up a carton full of confetti-filled eggs to throw at your friends. Previous to that, they were found in Italy. The Italian ones are considered to probably have come over from the East, as so much does, with perfumes coming that direction. Most things, when you do a little bit of research, will tell you they came from China with Marco Polo. Probably not, but the timing is about appropriate, and it certainly, we do have a lot of perfumes and scents coming from east through Venice, because Venice is the trading clearinghouse. And so these sorts of things are occurring. And there's some fabulous woodcuts like this where we see the groups out there talking to the ladies with their slingshots. They're going to throw eggs. So it was an activity. Here's another one of those gentleman in his mask, other masks. We also have, in addition to, again, the guy looking like he's the Easter Bunny. We have the framboisateur who has his sling. So he has his collection of eggs here and his sling. This is an 17th century image, but we still see these gentlemen out there getting ready to throw eggs. Okay, let's see here.
I thought it was amusing in the previous woodcut that the masked people with those little horn-like ears or whatever reflected in the horned hairdresses of the courtesans.
Kind of. I think they're coming from different directions, but yeah, we do have.
So, but it was funny.
Yep. Okay, so I went looking for a how-to. The closest I found, because not something that every housewife is going to need to know how to make perfumed eggshells, but there is an example in Robert May's The Accomplished Cook from 1685 as part of a subtlety. This one is for 12th night, so about the right time, and he is discussing how to make this crazy subtlety, which it involves you making a ship with a cannon and a pie that has frogs jumping out of it and all this thing. But part of it has a how to make these eggshell bombs. So the first part is we're making the ship in pasteboard with flags and streamers and guns, and doing that with sugar. We're doing sugar paste, and we're having powders to look like fires and putting salt all around it. But the next part is the important part. So, and stick there in eggshells full of sweet water. You may take a great pin, take all the meat out of the egg, and I've got my face over it so I can't read it, by blowing, and then fill it up with rose water. Then in another charger, have the proportion of a stag made, of course. So we've got other things going on, but we do talk about taking an egg, blowing it out, filling it with rose water as part of that. And then, so let's next start. So that's the first part. So, and talking about interacting with all of this by taking the arrow out of the stag and firing the cannons, and then the ladies take the eggshells full of sweet waters and throw them at each other as part of this subtlety. So and then the next thing, once that's over, once all the danger is at it over, we can open the pie with frogs, and the ladies should skip and shriek. And
we have a question. What are kickses?
Where?
In the chat, what are kickses? Kickses is how they're spelling it.
Let's see. The castle, bay leaves, turrets, tassels. Take out. So we're making our pie.
Guns and kickses.
I don't know. I do know that when it says fire the train, those are the little cannon shells, cannon that you've made. I am not sure, because I was, again, focusing more on the particular, the rose water bombs on that one. So I would have to look that up. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
All right. And then lastly, again, if you don't wish to purchase your own, make your own, you can always purchase cascarones with glitter and things. Also, I've seen, if you go looking on Pinterest, you can find things like, hey, how to fill your egg with chalk to make smoke bombs, or how to fill it with paint to throw it as an activity, and all that jazz. So we are going to do some making of hollow plants. Oh, Kixas are hollow plant stems. Cool. Awesome. Okay, so I'm hopefully will be playing with us a little bit to see if I can get a view of here. And I'm sorry that the camera will be going up and down and around and through. But so we are going to be making blown out eggs. I have my rose water in here. I make my own rose water with my roses every year. I actually have a video up on the Kingdom of Artemisia's YouTube channel. For the University of Artemisia, there is a how to make rose water tutorial there of me making rose water from my roses. You can also purchase it, obviously. Like I said, I make mine because I have way too many roses, and it's fun. So we're gonna blow out eggs. I think a lot of people have done this for most Easters, where you just put holes in it and you end up with your eggshell that then you can fill. All right, so what we're gonna do is have egg, have needle. You're gonna make 2 holes, 1 on each end. Don't try to push your needle through all at once. I like to just kind of scratch the end to kind of weaken it, test it a little, scratch it a little more. May says pin, I'm using a needle just because, hey, but you could certainly use whatever your preference is. And of course, this worked just fine off camera. Just kind of keep playing with it. Keep playing till you open a hole. And then you're going to go and take your needle pin and basically scramble your egg in there. And you're going to make another hole on the other side so that you've opened it up. And I have conveniently already done one because I knew this was not going to go as well on camera as I had hoped. So, and then once you have made 2 holes, you're going to take and blow out Sorry, I'm teaching right now. So I'm gonna blow it out. Scramble a little bit more if necessary, especially if you've let your egg sit for a minute and so things have kind of dried a bit. Boy, this is attractive.
Sounds elegant too.
Mm-hmm.
The sound is completely amazing.
I didn't really consider just how wonderful it would be with the headset. Okay. All right, then you can rinse this out. so that you've got your raw egg out, which is probably you know, a nice sanitary option. Okay. Your next thing you want to do is to take your rose water. You can do it. I freely admit that when I am just doing this, I use a syringe so that I can just inject it in. It's easier that way. But I've also done it where I've taken my rose water and poured it into a dish. Taken my egg, submerged it.
To be fair, syringes did exist.
Yes, they did. And you can also use, hey, those plant stems we were just talking about.
Yeah.
You could totally do that. But anyway. And I do get a little squish, a little swish, and I can keep doing that. Alternately, you could open it up a little bit more, but the more you open it up, the more you have to close it up in order to keep the liquid inside. But you'll start to see some bubbles where the air is coming out as it fills up. This happens to be the step that I don't know how they did it, so, but this seemed reasonable. And like I said, I normally just use a syringe because it's easier. Less, you know, pouring large amounts of rose water in place. Okay, so once I've got a little bit of got that filled, and you could continue filling that. What you want to do is you want to seal it. There are lots of different ways to seal it. Normally, when I'm not worried about being period, what I do is I just take a glue stick and a little piece of tissue paper and put it over, or you could take a piece of wax paper, since that tends to be less apt to wick wet and be an actual sealant. I did see a reference to wax sealing it, so I've got my beeswax and some fire. What are we filling them with? I'm filling them with rose water. It is what it's listed as what they were filled with. I've seen a couple of other references for, like I said, for things like ink, which, you know, you're not going to do that for someone you like, because that would certainly make the lovely lady's dress be soiled. I've also seen where they've just gone ahead with regular eggs and not blown them out and done the lovely bombs. But these are part of Carnival, and you can even purchase these. You could also do a powdered scent where you take like some chalk and add your powdered scent. Or I've done this is a little lilac sugar that I like put my lilacs in sugar, and I get the lovely scent from that. It gets a bit sticky if you're going to throw that at somebody. It's a bit sticky, but then you will take your glued paper or your wax. If you're doing wax, you're just going to heat it up a little bit, because I would normally do this with a candle, but the candle wasn't showing today for some reason, because of course I knew where it was 2 days ago, and then today don't. Okay, we're gonna skip that, and I'm just gonna tell you that we're gonna do it, because otherwise I'm gonna make an even bigger mess and end up with, you know, fire in my kitchen, and my children who are wandering around are gonna go, Mom's a crazy person. Of course that's true, but you know, so you're going to take your wax or your paper or whatever, and you're just going to seal it up. The idea is so that you can stack them and carry them. And then what you do, come here, child. Come here, my friend. Ha, 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 ha. So I have made this lovely thing. It works a little bit better if they're a little further away. And it drips, and you have rose water. Hopefully, if your tile is a little further away. She has a hard enough head, but thanks, kid. And and I'm sure the slingshot adding the extra velocity would significantly assist this, where you're throwing it further away towards walls and such. They say excellent cameo, kid. Alrighty. So this is a short little one. It's only supposed to be about a half an hour, and we've about hit that. But any questions? Has this been done at an SCA event? I don't know, but I would assume, because again, like I said, the cascarons are totally available around Easter. You can get them because that's kind of the Spanish, and these become more in other countries, but they kind of take it, make their own thing. And the cascarons are the same sort of thing, where you have an egg filled with, in that case, confetti. So I am absolutely, because I know my friends, I am sure that someone has thrown a glitter or confetti filled egg at one of their friends. I am secure that someone has decided to do that. As far as whether I have done this at an event, no, I have not.
This would actually be great to do either as a twist on the classic assassination game.
Oh, that would be do an assassin, yeah. and then because they now smell, they cannot escape. You have total proof that you hit them.
Yes,
that they are now covered. Or if you're using glitter, they'll never get rid of it. So also guaranteed.
Or you could also have an egg tournament, kind of like dodgeball, where you would have like teams on either side throwing rosewater filled eggs at each other.
Oh, egg roulette, where you have no idea what your egg is filled with it. We got people threatening to do this at Lily's and Penzic, and my work here is done. So go throw eggs at your friends. Let them know that you are interested in them by saturating them in perfumed liquids.
Yes, this is one of those fascinating little things from history that I love learning about. Thank you so much for sharing. It's great. I love that we're all just like, we're doing this.
Like I said, if you don't want to take the time to fill your eggs, you can go to the grocery store at Easter and get a good facsimile that will substitute nicely. So I like that too. But again, the first reference to this is a law from 1268. So you are participating in a long
tradition,
historical tradition
of throwing eggs at each other. Lily's, Antoinette, Lily's is a war. Oh, someone's got it in chat. Never mind. Excellent. This is fantastic. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you guys for showing up. And I'm gonna clean up my eggs and find another child to throw a few at.
Fantastic.